Hi, I'm Nick Thomas. Welcome back to the Academy of Historical Fencing. Today is a kit review of the Superior Fencing Full HEMA Kit 1. So this is a relatively new company from Pakistan who's making quite an extensive range of HEMA kit for us. I say us as a community and not us as a group. And this is the Kit 1, which is basically everything you'd have head to toe besides an actual mask and gloves. So it's a really comprehensive set, and it's the $270 set plus shipping. I'll talk about that later on. So yeah, a lot of kit for the money, and we've been testing it over the last sort of few weeks. So this is a look at how I find it in terms of maneuverability, comfort, quality, all that kind of thing. So I'm going to talk about the whole set. I've got everything here to talk about except the mask overlay because Mike has nicked that over the last few days, but I'm going to be talking about that because we've tested it and I'll show some photos of that as well. But yeah, he has nabbed that for now. Right, so yeah, let's talk about the jacket because I'm wearing it. This is roughly equivalent to the SPES AP jacket, the standard jacket. In my videos I normally wear the light, which is half the weight, because I really like lightweight jackets, but that's me personally. You've got to choose the weight jacket you want, and most people in the HEMA scene favour something around about the SPES AP jacket level, which is about a 3 kilo jacket, just over 3, and this one is a whisker under 2, but they're roughly equivalent in terms of weight and bulk, as well as overall sort of coverage. Right, so how is it? Well, there's no hard shell padding in this because it is like the SPES jacket in that construction, so it's quilted, so it's basically the in-between style of Gambeson meets a sport fencing jacket, which is the general sort of trend for most HEMA jackets these days. The sizing, the whole kit that I've got here is large, but I normally wear a medium in SPES. I might say the other instructor wears large. The large SPES stuff is massive on me, whereas this is just a little bit spacious, so I can get away with wearing it, although it's a little bit too big for me. So I would say it's right in between medium and large. Which isn't a problem, you just need to know that when you're ordering. So it's right in between medium and large, but they will custom make to your size for no extra cost. So if you want custom sizing, you just let them know, it's no big deal. But yeah, this is size large, and I'm about a 42-inch chest, and this is, I can wear it. It's a little bit more spacious than I would normally use, although that's my personal preference. I like a tightly fitted body on the jacket as long as the arms have got free movement. So that's me personally, but I can certainly get away with wearing this, and I have been wearing it for the last few sessions. Okay, what should I talk about? You've got double layering on the front, so a very thick quilted section on the front where it double layers like the sort of AP jacket. It pads, you see the quilting on the forearms, so there's a bit of extra protection there, and aside from that you've got a fairly even level of padding throughout the jacket. The zip seems nice and strong, which is nice because some HEMA jackets do suffer there with weak zips, but I'll know about that over time, but certainly at the moment it seems strong. If you look at the back, we've then got this strap here, this adjustment strap, so you can belt in the back if you want. And if you look further up the jacket above, you'll see 2 slashes. Those are actually zips, but if you open them, they're mesh vents, so it's going to vent some of the heat out the back. Although I only noticed that a couple of days ago, which is, I didn't even think to look for it. That is quite a nice feature, because all HEMA jackets get warm, certainly, which is why I always favour the light jackets. I have got the Colonel jacket as well, which is one of their lighter jackets, sort of more stylish, lighter, mix of the two. And I will discuss that in a separate video, because this is a review for this particular kit set, and I'll do that one later. Okay, so as you'll see, it's got our insignia on it, which is embroidered on, so that's a nice touch. They'll do that for $15 per jacket, that's combined for the small patch there and the large one on the back. So if you want some unique club patches without the fuss of having to get them done afterwards, that's very convenient. Right, so the interior, I would say I found quite warm, but in the same way that I found the standard AP jacket warm. It is a warm jacket, most HEMA jackets are, unless they have moisture wicking materials like my light AP jacket. But I've been talking to Superior Fencing and they say they're going to be introducing moisture wicking materials on future jackets, so that's an interesting touch. Saying that most jackets out there don't currently have that anyway. So yeah, it's a warm jacket to wear in the same way that the standard AP jacket is. Okay, What else do I have to say about it? I think that's about it on the jacket. I mean, I've been using it for sabre and sword and buckler and that kind of thing, and I did a bit of long sword, that was more with the Colonel jacket, so I'm going to have to talk about that separately, and it's comfortable. It's bulkier than I normally wear because I wear the light AP, which is a very light jacket. It's a 1.5 kilo jacket, so it's a light jacket. It's comfortable. The movement is great because it's gusseted up here with, like these of AP jackets, and most of the good jackets on the HEMA scene now are done that way. So you can get freedom of movement without the jacket actually rising up, which is really good because you don't want the jacket rising up. One, for protection because it'll expose your belly, and two, because it's just a pain in the arse when you're trying to move up things like movements where you're moving up with a long sword and buckler and stuff like that. You do not want the jacket lifting. So that's good. It doesn't lift. It's comfortable, and the movement in the arm is as good as any, really. So I'm really pleased with that. The overall fit and finish seems really, really good. So really my only complaints about this jacket are, one, it's heavier than I normally use, which is not a problem with the jacket. That's your personal preference of what jacket weight you want. I like a really light jacket. And it's a bit warm, but again, most of them are. But I think with some moisture wicking materials, that would improve further. But it's kind of, it's roughly equivalent to the standard jackets that you see out there at the moment, like the SPES jacket, the heavier Red Dragon. So at the moment, I say a really good standard jacket weight. Yeah, I really think it's a good jacket. Right, what should I go on to? Okay, the bag. Now, HEMA bags can actually be quite expensive, so it's kind of nice that if you buy this set, you actually get one. And notice they have put our embroidered in our logo on there again. You will have to pay a little bit extra for that. You're talking about, I said it's $15 for the jacket, so they'll probably charge something similar for the bag. So the bag is quite similar to, say, the Cavalier Attitude ones that we use, which I've been using for many years. So you can open the top up and open the Velcro up and just push swords through the top, so there's no limit on length of swords. And you will actually fit in the longest rapiers with it shut, so there's no need to have them sticking out the top. So yeah, the good size is good. The strapping is different to, say, the Cavalier Attitude bag that I use. Cavalier Attitude is a single shoulder strap, whereas this has like a rucksack style pair of straps. I think in many ways that works quite well for it, because the single strap can tend to pull in odd ways, and I have had quite a few breakages in that regard. So yeah, depends what you prefer, but that's, yeah, rucksack style strapping on the back. The material is thicker and tougher than the Cavalier Attitude ones, which I like because, again, I have burnt through those bags over the years. And the zip, again, seems tough. I'll know more in time, of course, but it seems heavy duty, which I like. And there is strapping inside for strapping gear in, like you get in some luggage type stuff. I've not really ever used those. I don't really need them personally, but they could be useful if you want them. And yeah, you've got standard patches on the front. The lower one is good buckler size, which is very handy, and some patches at the top. So yeah, the bag is much like the Cavalier Attitude one and a few others on the market, but it seems a bit tougher, which is good. I mean, the Cavalier Attitude bag, I think you're only supposed to carry something like 6 to 8 swords in it, and I always carry about 20 to 30. There's no wonder I burn through them. But that's the way it goes. We always have too much HEMA kit lugging around, way more than we need. We always need more. But okay, let's move on. Shin Guards. So the knee protection is fitted onto the breeches in the way that SPES and Red Dragon do, for example. So I'll talk about that separately. The Shin Guards, these are really heavy duty. Personally, too heavy duty for me, but again, lots of people like much heavier protection than I do. These are roughly equivalent in protection to the Red Dragon, the Red Dragon knee and Shin Guards combination. So really heavy duty and a massive amount of protection, although not very heavy. There's not much weight in this at all. It's incredibly light. It's just got hard shell protection and some really thick foams over, again, layers of plastic on the sides and the sides of the ankle there. So massive amounts of protection, a little bit more than I'd like, but I know a lot of people will really appreciate that. And certainly a lot of longsworders are going to want that level of protection. So they are really good, just a little bit heavy for me. Arm guards, similar to the SPES Red Dragon models. So you've got plastic plating with a small amount of foam inside. So this is like a splinted arm guard that then has a elbow guard that velcros into it, so that can come out completely. Now, I was using this for a lot of sabre recently, and actually I really liked it. So it wraps the full arm, you get full coverage. Normally I only use something that fits on the outside of the arm. Gets full coverage around the arm, and it does work really, really well. So I actually can't complain about that at all. It does work really well. Yeah, and not excessively heavy, which is nice. So let's get on to the breeches. Now, again, size large, but they're only a little bit too large for me. So these will probably go up to a waist, maybe like 38 inch, because I normally wear something like a 34. So they're, you know, they're a little bit bigger. Maybe they're 36, 38. But okay, I don't normally wear HEMA breeches, although I've been thinking about it over time. So I can't necessarily compare them to all the ones on the market, but loads of people in our club, loads of our members have the SPES or the Red Dragon models. So I can compare them to those, and I've got people to try them and test them. And yeah, they seem good. They are comfortable to wear. They have pads going down the thighs, the inner thigh. They have quilted knee protection. So they do have a lot of protection. You can see, there you go, the width there, that is all padding. So that's the front of the thigh and the side. And that wraps around into the inside with then one small pad on there that's going onto the outside of the leg as well. So you're getting protection, you know, all around the thigh aside from the actual back of the leg. And then the elbow guards, the knee protectors, they point onto the knee protection with the elastic pieces here, and you can change the position a little bit. I actually found protection-wise these are better than the SPES ones because they're not only hard shell, but they have this piece on the side, which is basically thick foam with a small amount of plastic on top, and this just provides a nice bit of side protection, which is somewhere in sabre we're striking all the time, so that is appreciated. I like that. The only thing I disliked about the knees, keep trying to say elbow, is the elastic strap on the back was just a little bit short to get around there, but I've already mentioned that to them and they say they are doing something about that. I don't know if they're going to extend it or change the style of it, but yeah, they are making it different. Yeah, so you got elastic straps going over the top to hold them up, Velcro and a zip on the front, and tabs on the side that can pull them in and out. So you've got a fair bit of adjustment. And yeah, I found them pretty good. I'm still not sure what I think of breeches overall. I've been indifferent to them for years, but you know, they are a good bit of protection, and not only for the padding, but for the suspension of the knees and the thrust protection against broken blades and stuff like that. And yeah, you have got pockets on the back. The one thing I find whenever it's hot and I'm not wearing a hoodie to fence in, I've got no pockets whatsoever, which is a pain in the arse. So that, as much as initially I thought, why the hell would I have pockets on fencing trousers? That's exactly why. If you're not wearing something with pockets on your top, you bloody well need them. So yeah, that is actually useful. So yeah, I found the breeches pretty good. The throat protector is much like a lot of the sort of hockey stuff that we've seen over the last few years. It's quite sort of standard, typical. I don't always get on with a lot of throat protectors, so it's not really my thing. But it's a perfectly, you know, solid, decent design. The Groin Guard is standard martial arts affair, just a sort of plastic cup inside a mesh shell. So that does the job without being particularly exciting. Don't see why you get particularly excited about a Groin Guard, but you know, I'm sure somebody does. The socks, so you've got, got the Superior Fencing logo on them, cross swords. The socks are nice and comfortable. I haven't used the other company's socks to compare with them, to be honest, but they are very soft and very comfortable, wonderful. Okay, so the last thing to talk about is the hood. I don't use a mask overlay, but I do own them and I have used them. I tend to use them for very heavy combat. By that I mean like poleaxe training or something like that. Or when I was doing the cavalry combats, and there's a good chance of getting really heavily hit on the head. So yeah, I don't normally use overlays, but I have. and we've got to mix them in the club. The full overlay does provide a massive amount of protection, and Mike has mainly been using that, so I can't get my hands on it because he's been using it most, and has said that once it's actually on, he just forgot that it was there. So, you know, that's a good review in that regard. Obviously, you're going to get a bit hotter wearing it because it's going to insulate the head. That's unavoidable, but it is a really great amount of protection because it protects the head, top and sides, but also the throat and also the collar, and to a certain degree part of the shoulder, but certainly the collar, and of course the collar is somewhere that can be quite vulnerable. So that's a good thing. And of course the back of the head, which extends a long way. Right, so that is the all of the kits that's in the Superior Fencing HEMA Kit 1. $270. It is for the patches, $15 to have your embroidered logos on, and they've said that shipping to the UK, Europe would be about $75 to $80. So there's your pricing. So it's a lot of kit for the money, and you can buy most of the parts individually, probably all of them if you contact them, but certainly most of their stuff is on their website as individual items if you want. Jacket was about $120. Yeah, $270 all up. So what do I think of the full set? I would say it is very good. It is hot, but most of the full, the heavyweight stuff in HEMA is very hot. I'd like to see them put in the moisture wicking materials, but I'd like to see all the other companies do that as well. So that's kind of across the board, across the HEMA board. The kit is good. They offer colour options as well, and they have said custom size and custom colour options going to be included in the price. So I've got the Colonel jacket in red, so you'll see that on the next review when I talk about that in a few days' time. So if you have any questions, please feel free. Overall, I would definitely recommend the Superior Fencing equipment. You get a lot for your money, and there's certainly a lot to like about it. And generally the dislikes I have about it are just that it's a little bit heavier duty than what I normally use. But that's because I like lightweight kit, and I'm going to be talking about some lightweight kits when I get the Colonel jacket out in a few days' time. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you do have any questions, please post them in the comments section. I'll put links to the Superior Fencing website and to the exact product line, so you can order that if you would like to. And I think that's about it. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.